Following program is recorded live. We are going to swear. You can count on it. This is our Bears Barroom special post-game show. The Bears and Bengals just finished about 15 minutes ago. Final score, Bengals 30, Chicago Bears 27. We have with us Danny Shimon, Draft Dr. Phil Ottochian, and the smartest man in the barroom, Shayne Marsaw. The four of us are going to dissect this game. But more importantly, we're going to talk about the players and offer some player evaluation and get your questions in the chat room. So how many people we got in that chat room right now? It looks like we've got about 15. I'm sure we're going to get many more as I've just sent out tweets and Facebook invitations. So I'm sure we are going to get lots of questions. Heidi just joined us. Isaiah Robles is there. The Tooch is there. Monster Mike. So we've got more and more people coming in. Come on in. There's plenty of room in the bar room. Guys, I want to go around the table and get your opening thoughts. What impressed you most or what disappointed you most? What is the single one thought you want to share at the top of the show? And then we're going to go position group by position group and offer some intense evaluation. So I'm going to spin the bottle here. Danny Shimon, it's you, brother. Jump on
All right.
in.
Let's get it started. So let's take a look here. What impressed me the most this game here was the outside linebacker play. Starting off first with Leonard Floyd, and then going into this second half with, and I hope I don't butcher his last name, but it's Kasim Adebali. And the kid caught my eye as I tweeted out earlier. He's got my attention now. I mean, he's only credited with 1 sack and 1 assist. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 tackle and 1 assist. But the kid was providing pressure most of the time he was in the game. He was flying off the edge. He was setting a hard edge in terms of the run defense. Had some more bend than I've ever seen him show. And I did some research on him. This kid is a 5-year veteran who was with the Saints and the Broncos, and 1 year back in 2015 had 5 sacks with the Saints. So I think Ryan Pace maybe has some inside knowledge as far as this kid is concerned. So. That kid really caught my eye tonight. James Daniels, the rookie, also played well, the center. And we'll break him down more as we go position-wise. But what really disappointed me, though, was the play of the starting offensive line. Wow, Geno Atkins was manhandling both Cody Whitehair and Eric Kush. That was not a very pleasant sight to see there. And Trubisky, thank God they got him out as early as they did, because he might have got hurt the way the Bengals were coming at him today. So those are my positives and my negatives for today's game.
Draft Dr. Phil, jump it.
Well, first and foremost, I got to tell our listeners that the NFL and the year 2018, where Netflix and Hulu, you could fucking stream a movie in the Stop and Shop while you're grocery shopping. But for some reason, the NFL, which has all the billions of dollars that it has, we can't pay and stream what we paid for in Connecticut, in upstate New York, and in every other not local viewing pub or household in Chicago, because you all could see it. But this true Hollywood Bears barroom story that transpired tonight, more so important than the fucking game itself, is that Aldo became a superhero and a technician for not only me but for Shayne, as he literally Skyped us on his laptop. So me and Shayne are in his laptop in his man cave, angled by his laptop, watching Aldo's TV screen the whole game. So the reason why there was no tweets from me or Shayne or whatever is because we literally were on Skype watching this game together we should have broadcasted it, really, Aldo.
Yeah,
me
really.
and Shayne were going nuts there watching what's transpiring. But so our vantage to begin with, so we didn't, because Aldo had to change the angle and in a typical Bears barroom way. I'm telling you right now, if it wasn't for Aldo, I would be losing my fucking mind here in Connecticut. Calling the NFL, I would lose it because it's 2018. This shouldn't be an issue. It should be press the button or turn on your freaking channel because you paid for it and you watch it. And all these crooks out there could steal a stream and be comfortable without paying for it. We got it perfect over here in the hood.
Some of those crooks are in the chat room.
Exactly. Those guys win the day, but really ultimately we were able to do it. And then Aldo Zoom, we got it perfect. So it was like watching it in the room and it was fun as we tried throughout the whole game because I wanted to bring this to you that there was an issue, and we continued to use the NFL Game Pass. It just continued to not work. And finally, in the fourth quarter, it worked tremendously, Aldo, at 12:59. But now into the game, I just want to get that story because it's epic right now in Bears barroom history, how you were able to help us feed the need so we can assess together.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Nagy's at the podium, so let me bring him in.
Who?
And then in the
Coach
end,
Matt Nagy.
we have experiences that
sorry.
you can coach off of and you can evaluate off of as well. Yeah. So I thought with Mitch, again, nothing extraordinary, but nothing bad. He only played, I don't even know the exact plays, 8 plays. Yeah, so we were thinking maybe 8 to 10 plays as we got into it. Maybe 1 drive for a touchdown or 2 drives, and unfortunately we had to 3 and out in the second one. But again, this is so early right now. It really is. It's early for him right now. And so it'll be fun as we go here to get them some more snaps, let them get into a rhythm, and really for all the guys to get into a rhythm offensively. So he's going to have 8 snaps to take a look at and see what was right, what was wrong, but it's hard to judge off of 8 plays.
You talked about camp about, you want him to push him up, you don't want him to check it down. Is there any symbolism in the first play out there, just let it fly?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the fun part for all of us. For one thing, I know this: if you play the check down game all the time, it shortens the field, and now it's easier for the defense. So for us, we thought, hey, we get an opportunity if we get 1 high there, and that first snap, that we'll take a shot, and even if it's incomplete. Sometimes okay, obviously you want the completion, but sometimes you send your guys a message, you send the other team a message, and then you want to try to pick up first downs and go, and we got one with a penalty. So it was choppy, but that's okay. That's all right. Again, we're building this thing, and I'm not going to be with that first group there on really both sides. I'm not going to be too hard on them right now just because of where we're at.
In terms of Mitch's operation of the offense, was he getting the plays out?
Yeah, all that was simple. Yeah, that part's easy. Again, just not enough per se to really critique too much. The tempo getting out, just him kind of being in this offense and hearing a play call from me and getting in there and Mike IDing and doing different things and being out there with some of his guys. So it was good. What do you think that confidence? Well, that's big for him. He's as you guys know, he's going to be a big part of this offense, and so he's a big target. We're trying to fine-tune some of his route running skills and what he does versus specific coverages. So for him to come out here and play well, that was good for him.
It was a third and 9. You guys had to roughing the passer penalty to extend the drive, but Kevin has the ball over.
Yeah.
What did you see on that, and what does Kevin take away?
Well, it was a good throw. It was a drop. Kevin will tell you that. And that's what we're trying to get through. He wasn't the only one. There were some drops tonight now, and I harped on that at halftime.
Benny and Kev.
We don't want to be. It can't be, and it can't happen where it's the Bears beat the Bears. We can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Great
they know
quote.
that, and we as coaches are got to do our best to not let that happen and send that message. But just so you drop a ball, the next time come out when you get an opportunity and catch the next one. So we'll keep harping in practice, keep practicing, with our hands and tons of confidence in all those guys still.
Regarding your two quarterbacks, Bray and Daniel.
Yeah.
Two more.
What you saw today?
Yeah. So again, with Chase came in and had real good command of the huddle. The tempo moves pretty good. Made some nice throws, good decision making. I was happy with where he was at. Didn't get quite as many reps. Tyler got more playing in that second half. And then for Tyler to come in, when you're losing, you're going to throw the ball a little bit more, which is what he did. Tyler has a nice, big, tall frame, so he can see over the middle of the field really well. And I think one of his better passes is that middle of the field throw to those tight ends and whoever it is. So I thought Tyler was very accurate tonight. I thought he was he threw the ball with a lot of confidence, and so that was good to see. Yeah. I thought I got to go back and watch it and see the details of his technique, but for the most part, man, I thought he played pretty well. That was really neat to see. I was proud of him. Proud with a lot of the offensive linemen. I thought they had a good game. I don't know how many times we threw the ball. It felt like a lot, I don't think there was a whole lot.
My bad. Hold on. Come on, baby. Come back to me.
And so we want to just keep him pushing, man. Just keep him going.
Last one.
He had his head was a concussion. Yep.
Whose head?
Yeah. Yep.
Larry, speak up.
All right.
What was it?
Get the player. Anybody get the player in the chat room? Let us know. Phil, why don't you pick up your thoughts, please?
Well, when you look at this game, you wanted to see. I said it before. I wanted to see these receivers. All eyes were going to be on them and who was going to step up. Kevin White, in typical fashion, without reps, continues to be a failure. You could say whatever it is you want. You don't drop the fucking ball. So that's your job. So you don't go into work and you're a freaking drill technician and destroy the fucking bolts because you're going to get fired. So go into do your job and stop being a little baby and thinking and this kowtowing to him. Now, he played a little longer than anyone was projecting, and he did absolutely nothing. So continue the hype. It's exactly what I said, Aldo. I'm going to pat myself and Shayne on the back. This kid is not given anything. He shows absolutely nothing. Potential. You don't win with potential. You don't. You actually get fired because of it. So he needs to step up. Now, guys that were told that were busts and fans were going nuts about their play, Adam Shaheen freaking showed me exactly what I wanted to see. After 2 plays, I'm like, all right, seen enough. Take him out. Because all I know is this kid is going to be dangerous. Then he gets the 3rd play and he's out running to say, this kid stood out to me tonight. I loved what I saw in him. The tight ends in general, who had a bad week last week. Again, to the smartest man's point, they're hiding Trey Burton for a reason. But the other tight ends came out. They obviously got a tongue lashing and came ready to play. And Shaheen really freaking stood out. Obviously, Daniel Brown, great stuff. I thought Gentry, despite going out of bounds, should have went out of bounds and near the end, but he caught the football. Disappointed in Bray in some of his throws. When he steps into it, he could deliver, but accuracy on that deep ball off the action game, it should have been a touchdown. If he throws it outside the numbers where it's supposed to be, Tanner Gentry at least has a shot. So it's a 50-50 shot. I'm thinking he's going to win that. He had separation. It's intercepted. Then you come back again. He's throwing weird balls for every good throw he threw. It's inconsistency. So I'm looking at this roster, and I don't know where everybody – I felt better about Chase Daniels after you saw what he did today. James Daniels, echoing Danny, I kept an eye on him and my boy Coward. Both of those guys stood out to me and really played well. Again, I didn't see the early part where Danny's talking about with Geno Atkins dominating them. So I can't say because we weren't properly placed yet by Aldo's laptop. But I will look at the tape and give you my assessment on that. Defensively, Kyle Fuller and Leonard Floyd. First we got to talk about Leonard Floyd. I'd say what I said about Kevin White. Leonard Floyd came out there and pressured the quarterback. The reason why the interception transpired is because he wasn't able to let Dalton get to his step and throw the football. And that's what pressures sometimes are better than sacks. Even though
better,
the block
excuse for first preseason game.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt. We got Trubisky at the podium.
Shouldn't be any jitters. Maybe guys were excited, but it's very simple. Come out here, do your job, do exactly what we were doing in practice. We practiced our butts off this week, and we just came out here and we're sloppy, and that's not how we wanted to set the tone for the rest of the game, for our 2s and 3s and everybody else who's playing. So coach is going to have that aggressive mindset, and we got to have that too. Just come out here, everyone do their job, keep it simple, and don't do anything outside of what we're asking you to do. So it was surprising to see us come out slow and sloppy, but it's going to be changed because it's just not who we are and who we want to be.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
To talk about the sloppiness and being locked in, how does that apply to your night overall? Just stick with you and your operation.
Yeah, for sure. I really couldn't get going because you're only limited to so many 8 plays. But for me, it was coming off and making sure those other guys, the next group of receivers, linemen, and quarterbacks going in, just continue to talk with them and stay on the same page. And I was just locked in throughout the whole game, getting the plays through the headset and seeing what I would do with the ball in each situation and helping guys. And it's a learning process for everybody, fighting for spots to make this team. So you're trying to help everyone and staying locked into the game. And we're trying to win. We're out there to compete. We're out there to get better, and we're trying to win. So you get limited to so many plays, so you try to just go out there and do the best you can with it. But it's got to be better. It will be better.
As a leader, do you go find Kevin after the drop and say, "Get him out of the way"?
Yeah, definitely. Come over there. I mean, I've seen him make that catch 100 times in practice. That's something we rep over and over again. So I'm coming back to you the next one. And unfortunately, it wasn't because I didn't get to go back out there. But I have a lot of faith in Kevin. I've seen him make that catch. So that's just a little thing. There's other things that go on throughout that play that can make it more solid. So I'm just going to – hey, Kevin, I'm coming back to you. He knows I got a lot of confidence in him, and we put in a lot of work, and we worked too hard just to let one – drop pass bother us like that. So just move on, and it's got to be better this week, and it will.
The first time, being subjected to getting tackled for you, how do you feel like your pocket presence was? They obviously were able to get some penetration.
Yeah, felt pretty good. Just obviously we were going against a good D-line, and it's good to go against other people for once. I felt like I was moving around pretty good. It's all about just, for me, keeping my eyes up downfield and moving as little as possible in the pocket. Just to keep my eyes downfield and be ready to throw at all times. So it felt good to be out there and hopefully just get more and more in a rhythm moving forward and feel my way around the pocket and keep my eyes downfield and get the ball to the playmaker. So we just got to keep going over protections and blitzes and play a little faster. And if we have a better operation in and out of the huddle, I think that allows us more time to just process things at the line of scrimmage, so it allows us to think less and play faster. So that definitely helps me in the pocket as well when you're just reacting and not thinking.
You mentioned facing other guys. What's the value in actually being in Denver? We'll do that over and over.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we'll get to go against a different defensive scheme all week, and we're lucky to go against a great defense in practice, but it'll be nice to go against someone else, different style, different coverages, and it's going to be competition all week, so we definitely got to bring it, and it'll be a great week for us to get better and just compete and see who wants to win every single snap, not just game, not just practice periods, but every single snap, every single rep. So it'll be a great week of competition just for us to get better.
Let's talk about the operation. Did you learn anything new about Coach Nagy today with how he calls plays, with how he handles coming back to the sideline, anything along those lines?
I don't think I learned anything new, but it was reconfirmed to me that he's competitive no matter what. He's so locked into the game. He's fiery. He's just he's going to keep that aggressive mindset all game. And the players feed off how competitive he is out there. He wants to win every single snap. So we just got to go back, figure it out, and if everyone can be as competitive as Coach Nagy is, if everyone's as locked in as he is, then we're going to be on the same page. But we just got to go back and get better. But Coach Nagy's done a great job handling all the situations, and I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff that I don't know about that he has to learn on the go too. So it's good to just get all those wrinkles out of the way throughout preseason. But it's got to be better, and I'm sure he's got a bunch of things he needs to continue to work on too. But his competitiveness is contagious, and that's what I love on the field so far.
Okay, Phil, why don't you go ahead and finish up your thought? I want to bring in Shayne here before his alarm clock goes off.
Yeah, I just want to touch. I can't remember exactly where I were, but we're going to get to some negatives probably later for a little bit. So let me stay in the positive. I thought the kid Nall was tremendous in the little aspects of what you're asking a running back to do. I don't know what the run-pass ratio was and what they're...
Where'd you go, Phil?
There's 2 plays versus... Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, the versatility that that Nall has. I mean, me and Shayne were watching it together. There's one play where he catches a little flat route, and there's no hesitation in the player turning or gathering. He just moves fluidly forward and continues forward and gets you the first down. Those little things that some analysts and some bloggers and company miss are what make a 6'2", 237-pound running back valuable, who's not afraid of contact. Is he the perfect player? No, I'm not saying that, but you saw his speed, you saw his vision and feel. He's running an inside zone play, feels it, cuts it all the way back outside, shows you the kind of athlete he is. He catches the ball. There's another play, he's running through the seam, pinpoints, snatch grabs it. Those types of things I saw from Brown, Shayne, and Nall. Snatch grabbing the football. You want a guy that plucks it and is comfortable. Those 3 guys showed it tonight on tape. So the kid Nall really was a standout. I've been impressed with him. I don't know how anybody in their right mind could ever say anything negative about this fucking player. But that he's not a running back, that he's this, that doesn't fly. Or I would fire the running back coach and tell me that this kid can't. Are you kidding me? Or what are we watching here?
All right,
he's more than a fullback.
I'm going to stop you there because we're going to have a debate between you and Danny talking about Ryan Nall. So I don't want you to blow your wad completely.
I think Shayne's going to be involved too because Shayne's right with me.
Okay, well, go ahead, Shayne. Why don't you give us some thoughts on the game, and then we'll start breaking things down position group by position group. Go ahead.
Well, first off, fuck NFL Game Pass. I want to get that out.
Oh, my God.
That's out-of-towners. Thank you very much, Mr. Gandia, for setting us up in the Gandia household so we could watch that game.
It looks like you guys were in my man cave. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was. These guys pretty much hit on everything. You guys heard me refer to it last week. I'm not exactly looking for great games from all of these players. I more so want to see players taking steps. The biggest guy for me tonight that I wrote down was Adam Shayne. You could see, I think he's lost a little bit of that baby fat. To me, last year he looked like he was almost running on ice at times. Tonight he looked so fluid. He was using his frame to create separation, and then once he did that, once he secured the ball, he was running away from guys. That stuck out to me a lot. Another little thing that I noticed is on the offense. You guys heard me talk about it last year so much. The John Fox post-up offense. Whenever our wide receivers caught the ball, their back was to where we needed to be all the time. You saw players hit in stride tonight, going to where we need to go. I like to see little things like that. I mean, Adam Shayne was the guy. Phil mentioned Daniel Brown. He's one of the most explosive big players that the Chicago Bears have for a tight end, and he's a guy that's a real tough eval on a team that's going to look that Nagy's going to coach, where the tight end is going to be so prominent. It's going to be very, very interesting. I know Deion Sims has a big number. I don't think they're going to cut him. I don't know if somebody would throw a conditional draft pick or whatever, but Daniel Brown's a guy that I hate to lose control of. because I think there's a lot of upside there being a former wide receiver. But then there was, to touch on another guy on D, you saw Eddie Goldman make a play. Phil mentioned Coward, James Daniels. I mean, you just sit back and look at the way that this 20-year-old kid is put together. I mean, you just sit there and you're like, I mean, I don't want to get off the rails too much, but that kid's got the biggest ass I've ever seen. Aldo, you mentioned it. It's insane, and he's 20 years old. I mean, he's still just a baby. It's crazy, and you like to see these guys making strides, and but with all these positives, yes, there comes negatives. The elephant in the room, Kevin White. You want to see something. You want to see a positive play, but you heard Nagy talk about it. Yes, it was a drop, and Kevin's got to forget about that. It's just everything with Kevin White is baby gloves, and it's just
exactly.
It's so
including
hard.
The fucking fan base, Shayne.
Yeah, I know. Nelson's probably pissed off at me right now for saying that, but it's just everything is. It's hard to fathom. You got a kid that's hasn't played, but is still in year 4, going into year 4 in the NFL, and you're worried about his fragile psyche of simply dropping a football. You look at a kid like Anthony Miller. If he drops a football, you know what he's going to say? He's going to say, "Fuck you! I'm going to catch the next one, and I'm going to make you look ridiculous." Kevin White's dropping it, and you don't hear anything from him. I was happier to see him. We were taking bets, Phil and I, during the week, and I think we talked to you about it too, Aldo, how much he was going to play. He played more than I expected. I did like to see that, but we got to see something on the field. And hey, Kevin White looked fantastic in practice. Hey, that's great. Good for him. Good for him. You got to see something in the.
We've heard it all before.
Something. Yeah. Phil, what do we say when they had that 1st and goal from I think it was maybe from the 5-yard line, and you
put it in his hands.
Give him put him out. Give him a chance. Give him a chance to do something. But it's just that part is hard for me to stomach, and I know there's people out there that are very well respected. Why is beyond me, saying that DeMarcus Ayers may be a sneaky add to this wide receiver roster. What are you watching?
Wow, that's a reach.
Yeah, and this is somebody let's put it out there. I mean, this isn't 100 proof, but it was Aaron Lemming, so the blue check mark doesn't mean that you know football, people, and whatever.
That showcases football acumen right there.
DeMarcus Ayers.
These are people saying this guy's better than Kylie Fitz after fucking 17 plays. This guy's DeMarcus Ayers is better than fucking Allen Robinson now.
DeMarcus Ayers hasn't shown me enough to play in the CFL. He's I don't get it.
Oh my god, it's so dumb.
It doesn't make
a joke.
To get back to some of the positives and negatives. You want to see, Kyle Fuller. He made that play because Floyd made a play. Like I said, Eddie Goldman. You want to see these guys making
Shayne,
plays.
Kyle Fuller finished.
Yeah, exactly.
He finished.
Yep.
Let's not just skip over it. There's been talk of him. Yeah, he drops it. He's got to finish. Well, he did finish, and he took it to the house, cut it back, and brought you to the end zone. That's ascending. That's a guy on a mission, carrying what's actually mattering in practice onto the fucking football field where it matters in scrimmages that you're showing. And he looked great in practice. I'm telling you, he's awesome. Well, when the lights are on, let's see.
Yeah, and I was waiting for Phil and his positives to bring up Daniel Brown lining up at fullback tonight.
Oh, I forgot that point. Holy.
Yeah.
Can I say it, Shayne?
Absolutely. No, take it.
Listen, I'm going to put it up. Thank you, Dan Aguirre, for the morning Eastern on Saturday, the NFL Network will play this game, and I will DVR it, and I focusing on one play. Daniel Brown lines up in the eye at fullback. It's a bob play, Danny Shimon, and he fucking puts his pads on the backer that's coming in on a blitz and knocks him out of the hole and turns him and controls him. I've never once seen number 46 do it better than on one play Daniel Brown did it. So to Shayne's point, we're sitting there watching. I'm like, let's watch Brown here. He's at fullback. They ran a bob. Perfect. Boom, he does it. I go, look at this mother. This kid did it right. That's exactly what you want from a fullback. So versatility, Shayne, explosiveness down the football field, willingness to go inside and block. Brown was a real exciting positive tonight. And that play, the little things matter. And that play to me, especially with what we've seen.
All right, guys, I'm going to read a few of the comments from people in the chat room that they started leaving right at the top of the show, their overall impressions they shared with us. Here are just a few of them. Dean Winchester's colon had a 2-word description for
he should have been on 100 proof with us the other
night. Exactly. He described the game with 2 words, growing pains. And I think that's a really good way of putting it. Harp 4803 started by saying Kwiatkowski was a bowling ball tonight, need Roquan in. He also went on to say during the press conference from Nagy that Nagy was not happy with the first teamers, that they got dominated on both sides of football. We'll talk more about that, Harp 4803. I don't know about that. But Harp went on to say that maybe Mike North was right. And so Harp is not...
No, he wasn't.
Is that Mike North?
Disguised as Harp 4803.
Is that Mike North's burner account?
Yeah, what did I tell you guys? That Allen Robinson didn't do shit tonight. He played like he had some fucking stilettos stuck in his elbow. Kid can't play.
Monster Mike went on to say, I'm glad it was just a preseason game. With that said, we still had our chances. Hair Bear said, one thing I learned is that Nagy's offense can flourish with any unit if there is a knowledgeable quarterback out there. We also, it was Hair Bear and Zeke Robles who came to the rescue and noted that it was Deion Sims who suffered the concussion. So those are some of the preliminary comments. I will continue to monitor the chat room, but I want to get to now is this debate that is forming regarding Ryan Nall. I've asked the people in the chat room to provide their thoughts on Ryan Nall, and they're coming in. We've got over 60 people in the chat room right now, so lots of activity. I want to begin with Danny. Danny, prior to us going live, you were skeptical about Ryan Nall being an NFL running back. Am I characterizing that correctly? And just go ahead and provide some texture on your thoughts there.
Right. So my thing was, it's not that I don't like Ryan Nall. I was actually excited when they signed him as a free agent, but I don't think he's a running back. Now, my question is, can he develop into a fullback? The guy that can lead the block, catch pass out of the backfield, guy who can play special teams. That was my question. Now, in terms of today, he had one great run, right, for 69 yards, where the rookie linebacker from Cincinnati, a kid from Texas, Malik Jefferson, overruns the flow of the play and then leaves the outside D gap wide open. He cuts back and he goes out and runs for 69 yards. Fine. Nice run. But I'm just thinking, I don't think this guy's an NFL running back. That's my only complaint about him. So, yeah, I don't think he's an NFL running back. I don't think
how do you do it in the NFL game? You're skipping over the fact that he read the linebacker overread. That's what you want. Instincts to know when to cut back.
Phil,
we're going to fucking celebrate Taekwon Mazzell doing it. We're going to celebrate Taekwon Mazzell doing it.
We're not celebrating Taekwon Mazzell.
Yeah, we would.
No, we're not. We're just saying
we wouldn't fucking celebrate Taekwon Mazzell doing a 69. Oh, here we go.
He's doing his third stringers. He's not.
You're going to do the garage band too? They're going to be bagging.
I'm just letting you know that
they're going to be bagging groceries.
Feature running back is not going to make it in the NFL. Sorry about that.
I didn't say he was going to be a feature running back. He offers versatility.
Okay, so
gives you an opportunity.
Third string running back, right? Third string, best.
I don't know, because he could do a hell of a lot more than you think he's doing.
No.
Did you talk about the fact that he caught the ball? How many catches did he have tonight? How many catches?
One catch.
He only had one? I thought he had two.
Danny, do you think? Danny, do you think
one for 9 yards?
Do you think the Chicago Bears lose anything off the field if he's your third running back over Benny Cunningham?
Yeah, I think Benny Cunningham is a better special teamer. B, he's a better pass catcher. He's proved to us he's a better pass catcher. And I think Benny Cunningham is a solid third string running back.
So 6'2", 232.
Okay.
But
we're talking about who's helpless,
4'5" guy. 4'5" guy, right? All his numbers match up. What do you mean? Who's going to help us this year?
Yeah.
Did Jordan Howard sit the bench his rookie year?
I'm just saying.
When you saw the talent,
if our top two guys go down, and Ryan Nall has to start a game for us again. This is going to sound like I'm bashing Ryan Nall. I am not.
You are.
No,
to be perfectly honest, because you're saying he can't do something. He absolutely can. He's running the counter play.
In my opinion, he can't play running back.
You're talking about one play of 69 yards.
Can he play fullback? I'll take him as a fullback.
Well, you're doing the Caucasian equation or whatever we're going to call it. This kid can play tailback. He's lining up at receiver out there, running routes. He's actually wide open, and fucking Bray doesn't see him. The kid runs a counter play, actually reads it, cuts it inside, puts his face in there, and carries the safety and the linebacker for 2 yards. To me, this is a young football player that's showing what would you want him to do on that play that against guys that aren't going to make it, that are third stringers. What would you want him to just – you know what? He wouldn't make it if he just went and ran the inside zone and got stuffed for 2 yards. Then I'm with you. But the fact that he had the understanding as a running back, to cut back, get to the outside, not only outrun the linebackers and the safeties, but to show you the kind of player he could be. And
that was a very nice run for a fullback.
All right, for a fullback. Okay. That's unfortunate that you think. I don't agree with that at all. But I think to your point that he could play fullback in this offense and tailback. So that kind of versatility, as well as him lining out at receiver, I'll put it up for you, and showing me his hands where he just turns up the football field with ease. Shayne, you pointed it out too. Did you see that, Phil? He just caught the ball without even gathering, without stopping. It was a speed turn, and he gets the first down with ease. That stuff is natural in athletes like this. I don't think you ever overlook that shit.
So if it came down to, just hypothetically speaking,
it came down
to
Nall over Cunningham.
Okay,
I'll take Nall over Cunningham.
You go Nall over Cunningham as well?
I think Benny Cunningham is going to be on this roster. I talked to you about it there right before we went live, Danny. I think what it comes down to...
And so do I, for the record.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is he's going to get the more playing time, obviously, as we go forward. And I think it's going to come down to a numbers game in other positions. But to me, I'm moving forward with him in place of Mike Burton to bring that. I mean, they're not going to be running a fullback out there every single down. Nagy wants these versatile guys that can make plays. And, you know, even if you say that Ryan Nall you don't think he's going to be an NFL running back, we don't need him to be, we're talking about a kid that's going to get maybe 5 to 7 plays a game if he's lucky.
We hope, right? But if the injuries come up, then he's got to be put into action, then we need him to be a running back.
But at the same time, Danny, you and I both know, and we've been around this long enough, we can go out and get a running back anywhere off the street almost at any time. It's one of the easiest positions to fill. I mean, you can bring a guy into your club on Tuesday, and yes, he may not know every blocking scheme, but he can still go out there and make plays for you. It's a pretty easy spot to fill. This kid, what I love about him is even in college, like he had 2 70-plus yard touchdown runs. I mean, game 2 in the NFL, You saw him, yes, the linebacker over pursued. He still made the play. And it's all about stacking these plays together. It's not really the overall game right now. You want to see him go out next week and do the same thing. And if you're talking about a guy that's a third or a fourth, Danny, do you think that he can play an H-back type role?
Yes,
Chris Cooley. That's exactly what I think he is. And I think that's going to be huge.
How could it not make the team with that? That's what
I don't
that
think
versatility is what they need, Shayne.
Benny Cunningham's not going to give you a role like that. And this kid's got to your point, Danny, he's got the size, he's got the athleticism to give you something at fullback. He doesn't have to go out there and be Corey Schlesinger.
That's the only thing I was asking was I see him as a fullback and then Phil sees him as a running back. That's the only thing
I
guess
see
we're
him
arguing about.
as everything. Remember Raymond Harris?
He can be a versatile player.
He came up today, this week.
I think
this
Raymond
kid's versatility.
I think Raymond was the better overall athlete.
He hasn't even played in it. No, Raymond was a better athlete than this kid.
Yes, I believe so. Yes, in my opinion.
I don't know about that.
I don't see that at all. I don't know where you see that, but I'm talking this kid from San Francisco that could play fullback, that could give you reps at H-back, that could play tailback. This kid could play tailback. I don't know what you're seeing. He's not playing. The same argument could be had. He's not playing with the first string line, opening a hole for him. I don't do that. I look at his talents, his traits, his vision, his power, his size, his athleticism, and awareness. All of those check the box for me. So this kid, to me, Benny Cunningham can't go line up at receiver and run a freaking snake route against the corner.
Yeah, they had him.
Excuse me, a safety. They lined him out at wide route.
Tonight, yeah, they did. Yeah.
They did. And Benny's not a threat. Benny's a decoy there. I'm not saying he can't stand there. But he ain't running that route and trying to get – he was wide open. Wide open. I'll put it up. The fact of the matter is Nagy's already praised this kid for his versatility. I just don't know how you can't see the roles being so important. And I'm not saying you're giving me the option who I would take. If I was a GM, I'm telling you I would take the young kid that's 6'2", 237 pounds, that just did what he did tonight and continue to mold him. Because Danny, he's not how many years is Benny Cunningham in the NFL? 5, 6? He's a rookie. So the amount, the salary cap, the amount of growth that a football player is going to do in an offense, he's a to me, getting close that I'm taking this kid and his high upside of what he could be before any kind of Cunningham talk. Now, it's Cunningham. I'm with you guys. Cunningham's going to make the team. Cunningham's going to be a part of this, but so is this kid. There's no way Mike Burton makes it over this fucking kid.
Oh, no, and I'm not saying Mike. To me, this is going to come down between Null and Burton. And if I had that choice, I pick Null because we know what Burton is, right? And we don't know what Null could be. So in that case, I will take Null. But I mean, if we're talking about just a running back, then I don't think he could be just a running back in the NFL. That's what I was trying to say.
Well, the whole offseason has been about Jordan Howard because he can't catch.
Right, but you still
can't do this. He can't do that, but he can do it.
You still expect him to contribute. If you have a player on your roster, you still expect him to contribute, whether it's on special teams.
Why wouldn't this kid contribute? Why can't he contribute? He can't play specials? You're telling me you haven't seen? He was on coverage.
I'm not saying he can't. He's
actually made the tackle. He made 2 tackles, to be honest with you. He made a tackle on the punt game, and he made a tackle 35 on the kickoff. So he can play special teams. His value is the fact that this kid is a football player first. You're not willing to double down and say, oh, he's an NFL running back. I don't sell into the fucking race stuff. I think anybody could do anything. And I'm not saying you are.
I'm not either. I'm
not saying you are. But I'm saying
I've seen other runs where he doesn't.
What runs?
To say he can't get out. He can't get out. He can't get out to the outside the defensive end. He gets stuffed in the backfield.
Because the blocking scheme has not done their justice. No running back has done what he did on this roster yet.
Well, we got 3 more games. Let's let it play out. Let's see how it goes.
Shayne, Shayne, let me bring you in for a closing thought on this topic, and then I want to share some of the thoughts posted in the chat room.
I think the most important thing is when you look at this Bears roster, and Danny and Phil and I are all in agreement. We expect Benny Cunningham to be here, and I understand that. And I think his biggest value to this team is whenever they talk about Cunningham is he's very valuable in the locker room. They all refer to that when they're talking about Benny Cunningham because it is a young backfield. But when you're talking about a Matt Nagy offense, it's not that you're going to have one specific defined role. What's Tariq Cohen? Is he a running back, or is he going to be used more as a wide receiver this year? You know what I mean? It's going to be more so about versatility. Just call him a versatile player. I think he can. It's all about adding guys that can do different things. I mean, Adam Shaheen, you're going to see grow into a role like that. Trey Burton's going to give you a bunch of different things that he can do. Jordan Howard, your workhorse back, has been working on his hands. We'll see how that develops. Tariq Cohen, he's going to line up everywhere. I think Ryan Nall brings you that, like we're talking about over Mike Burton. Mike Burton he's not even a one-trick pony. He's a baloney pony in Southwest Indiana at this point. But the versatility, I think this kid's being undersold as an athlete. He's an extremely good athlete, and I'm not so sure that you can't put him out there on special teams, Danny, and have him make an impact. I think he's that type of guy that he may have his struggles, but we've all seen that. You got to put him out there, and he's going to have to make his hay doing that initially. But like I said, he's an explosive athlete for his size. There's not a lot of guys like that. I mean, I know a guy like today, like Mike Allstott's not going to make it, but you see these guys that you can flare him out. And Phil said just that little thing about seeing him turn his head and get up the field immediately. Time and time and time again, we've seen these guys, the little simple thing of turning your head and getting upfield. We see these guys not doing it. We saw Ryan Nall do that tonight. We saw him pop off a 69-yard run. I think, did he have 100 yards tonight? Was it right 90?
I think it was 90.
Yeah, right around there. But he's a player I want on my team, on my 53. Mm-hmm. He is. He provides versatility, and that's all you can ask for.
All right, let me share with you what some of our friends in the chat room are talking about. All 3 of you guys are getting praise from our barflies. Brian Quinn, B. Diddy, a.k.a. Pornmaster, says that Danny nailed it. Danny says that Nall needs to make this team as a fullback. He will be cut if he can't play fullback. That's according to B. Diddy. Shy Bears Plus says, man, I love me some Phil. He sees it. He goes on to say, Nall looks so comfortable out of the shotgun versus single back. I saw him grow from the Hall of Fame game to this week, putting a foot in the ground and hitting the hole. I think Nall can run the damn rock. Bang, bang, bang the table. He can also be a matchup nightmare versus some linebackers and out of the wing at the tight end position. Steven Zimmerman says that's a good call by Shayne. He says if Cohen can play more wide receiver, expect Nall to definitely make this team. Hair Bear says, I like Nall. Did out of college. People thought I was nuts, but I am. I had the same thoughts. He would make a decent fullback. And then Frankie Myers went out and wrote a dissertation. Let me see if I can get through this. I am with Phil on this one. Benny Cunningham does a good job in his role as a third down type back. However, considering injuries, as Danny brings up, if an injury were to happen to Jordan Howard, Nall provides the ability to step in and fill the short yardage and power runs between the tackles. Nall also provides versatility as a pass catcher and has shown that he can break runs outside with his vision. If Howard gets hurt, Cohen becomes number 1, and Null is a better complement to Cohen than Cunningham, who is a redundancy to Cohen. Great thoughts by everybody. I left out some good ones.
Some chapter verse. I love the first guy. What was his name?
That B. Diddy, who
No, he was terrible. Fuck's he talking about?
talking about Shy
Guys in
Plus.
the porn shop talking about that. Shy Plus, yeah, that guy and Chachi.
Oh, good stuff by lots of folks in our chat room. All right, now let's. I don't know if we need to go position group by position group because you guys have really nailed so much of this stuff. So let's just kind of keep things open. I want to bring out the point. Let's go. Let's jump to the defense here and talk about.
Can we do a bear up, bear down?
Sure. You want to do a bear up, bear down? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have my music.
So each one of them, you don't have to have the music.
Okay.
This is good. Oh, now we're talking. No music.
This is my first bear up, bear down. I'm just assuming it's the guy who played good is bear up and played bad is bear down.
Catching up.
How could you ever
are
guess?
smarter than you look.
Catching on.
Guy never makes it to the second half of Bears Winning to Prove, apparently.
Thanks for listening in, Danny. We appreciate you as one of our cast members.
I'm there.
Just like your take on Null, you saw.
Oh, man. You guys are going to be going at it all season long, and I love it. All right, let's start with the draft, Dr. Phil. Who is your bear down player?
Bear down.
Yeah.
Oh, I was prepared for up, and I was thinking of down. Can you give me that?
I can give you the bear up.
Would Danny allow that, Danny? Would you give me that?
You go ahead, man.
All right, my bear up is obviously I've spoke about Null, but I'm going to say Adam Shaheen.
Isaiah Robles agrees.
This is what I wanted to see. There's certain things I want to see out of football players when they're in the moment, the lights are on. I want to see you pluck the ball. Like you know it's your job, and that's the precious thing. Like it's second nature. And Shayne and I always talked about the Bears offense. Always turn their back to the end zone. Tight end catches the ball. He's tackled. Well, tonight you saw them throwing down the seam, and a guy that's 6'7", 265 pounds running like that. And to Shayne's great point, not looking like awkward or unbalanced or on ice, or as Trey Biz talked about, like a baby deer. He looked the part, he played the part, and wow, I honestly came away so happy. I mean, there's James Daniels, Null, all these other people, but Adam Shaheen is my bear up.
Phil just took 3 guys for his bear up.
No. There's those other guys, obviously.
Go ahead, Shayne.
Well, before Phil took James Daniels, I was going to go because I already know.
Go ahead, take it.
Danny's going on the defensive side of the ball on the outside. I already know where he's going, so I won't steal his.
You are the smartest man in the bar.
Yes. No, James Daniels really was a pleasant. I mean, I don't want to say pleasant surprise, but the kid is so young, and in the injuries at Iowa and being dinged up here in camp had me worried, but I said he got out there and he got that first burn in, these live reps against an opposing team, and it's Aldo. I talked about it with you. This cat is 20 years old. He's not even going to turn 21 until September.
Yeah.
Can't say that enough. Stuff makes a difference. You know, we're talking about Anthony Miller. Anthony Miller is going to be a 24-year-old rookie. And this guy's a rookie also and is 20. I loved everything that I saw. This kid, you just look at him. Yeah,
he looks so natural at center. He just looks natural. He's smooth.
So smooth, Danny. Exactly what I was going to say. It's smooth and fluid. He's just built for the spot. It's gonna be interesting to see how this unfolds. I know people. The one thing that drives me crazy about preseason more than anything is, and not even just like Ryan Null. Ryan Null could go out and he could have just had like that one run and he's, I said to Phil, there goes the White Walter. There's going to be people on Twitter saying that they're so up and so down with every play. But James Daniels, bear up. It's what's better to have a young offensive lineman that can be a fixture for the next 10 to 12 years, injuries notwithstanding. I want to see enough. As a kid, you got to go out there and make another step next week. But I love what I've seen so far, and especially from tonight.
Their best offensive line could be Whitehair at guard and Daniels at center.
Yeah, it's something that we talked about with Magoo here a few months ago. And like I said, it's just...
We'll see what happens. Harry's going to decide, and Harry is only going to do what is best for the Chicago Bears. That's the key thing.
Right, and the thing about it is we're talking about versatility, Danny. I don't care where they end up at the end of the day, just as long as they're effective.
Those are three pillar pieces, Shayne. Yes. Long, Whitehair, and Daniels could be. Everyone was hyping on Sutton. Could be something special here.
Talking about that, I think Charles Leno takes way more grief than he needs to. Mm-hmm. Charles Leno is a good football player, and I know a lot of people. Yeah, and Hub Arkush thinks he's horrible and 7th round draft pick, and he's come in and I don't think he's missed a game.
Never missed a start.
Right. And we hear about that. What's your best ability is your availability, and he shows up. He's not Tyron Smith or somebody like that, but one team has that. He's an effective, steady guy, and when he gets ethered by fans, it always drives me crazy because they expect you to have.
We need the barflies to get him on the air. We need to praise him up. He's another guy that needs the Bears Barroom underappreciated team. Yeah.
But no, we want the best 5 out there, and Danny, very well. Maybe you're right. I mean, Eric Kush, everybody loves the guy. He's very personable. Another guy that's versatile, but at the same time, he's mainly been a backup. So who knows? I mean, they put a large investment in James Daniels, and more times than not, you're not leaving guys like that on the bench. We'll just say that.
Right. Guard center in the second round. Highlight, underline, exclamation point.
Danny, who you got as a bear up?
My bear up is Leonard Floyd. The guy barely made a dent in the stat sheet. He only was credited with 1 assist. But I mean, the Kyle Fuller interception, he rushed the tight end, beat him inside with a nice swim move, and provided pressure in Andy Dalton's face, and that rushed the throw. Then it turned to Kyle Fuller taking it back for a pick 6. He beat Bobby Hart, the right tackle, again 1-on-1 with a nice swim move inside. He showed quickness, agility. He looks a little bit bigger too, so he was good at the point of contact.
He does. He looks wider across the shoulders, doesn't he, Danny?
Right. He does.
I thought he did.
A little more full, yeah, a little more fuller. And the one thing about him is we expect Hicks to attract double teams, so that's going to be one-on-one matchups a lot of times, and he needs to win those one-on-one matchups. And today he did, or tonight he did. So I mean, that was very, very encouraging to see him come out like that and play like that. Again, he didn't make a dent in the stat sheet, but his presence was felt out there on the defensive side.
All right, let's talk Bear Downs. Phil, who you got?
Very easy one could be, well, I'll have to take the easy one. But I'm afraid they're not going to point out the other one that should. Actually, I'm going to take Jonathan Bullard. I thought
really
he was pathetic. I thought Shayne pointed out 2 plays where he just loafed.
Terrible.
Then there's another play where I honestly I thought it was the kid Williams. I go, look at Williams. It was I think it was 3rd down, and Cincinnati just buries the defensive end down, pushes him down the line of scrimmage. I'm putting it up, and I'm tagging Jonathan Bullard, and I'm gonna set. This is how you decide you want to start, because it was pathetic. Not only that, I was embarrassed to say that this kid is somebody that wants to start by putting that on tape. I mean, to loaf is the guy. That's the worst sin you could be as a defensive end, loafing. But then to put down and be accepting blocks, you know, I question whether or not the guy gives a crap. We saw him in the offseason at Bears Barroom. If you're a loyal Barfly, we showed pictures of him looking like he's out of shape. We talked to Kyle Long and Akeem Hicks, and we heard the whatever answer, the kind answer, because we're concerned about it. And then you get to this game, and everything is inconsistent with the football player throughout his career. He'll flash because he guesses the snap count and is a good athlete. But how about flashing like an Aaron Donald because you give a shit about starting, winning, and making goddamn plays? This kid is a huge disappointment. Hopefully he looks at it and they embarrass him on the film, because I'm definitely putting up that play, Shayne. And then you caught him loafing twice, and I'm like, oh, it's like that is my bear down. Jonathan Bullard, even more so than the other guy, who I'm sure one of these guys will take.
All right, Shayne, let's see who you got.
Well, I'm going to stay with Old Faithful. Phil's going to laugh when he hears me say this, but Aldo, I'm sure you heard me while we were watching the game, and I know Phil did.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Yeah, I still have my concerns with our field goal kicker. I mean, is that where you're going, Danny? I'm sorry.
No. I was funny because I thought of you when he missed that field goal.
Yeah. I don't. You know, this kid's been on 5 teams in 4 years or whatever it is. You had 52-yard field goal, 80 degrees out. You're on a solid circle. You have to bang that through. I don't care if it's preseason for the field goal kickers. You have to be consistent with those. And
it was wide, right, and short.
And short. And I'm just not sold on the kid. And Pace opened up the coffers for him and gave him a lot of money to get him away from Miami. I hope he proves me wrong, because we all know we're all invested in this. He's not going to be kicking in these conditions tonight in Chicago for very long.
It's
a whole different beast. And the worst possible thing that can happen to a young ascending football team is just like when Mitch against Detroit last year on that 4th and 14 ran for 18, and then he laced a perfect throw to the blanking on the wide receivers. Yeah, Inman. And then Connor Barth happened. Those things derail seasons, and I know I'm probably being a little bit over dramatic with it, but
just look at the Chargers last year. Chargers last year. 9-7, and they were the hottest team at the end of the season, and they missed 2 game winners at the beginning of the season.
And it can kill you. And believe me, I hope he proves me wrong, and I hope he starts banging them through. But Cody Parkey is very, very high on my to-watch list. And who I know he's got a huge deal, but I don't care. There still should be somebody in there. There always should be competition. You know, just having somebody there at least so you're looking over your back. I don't give a shit if you have a big deal or not. You got to have guys ready to go, and if Cody Parkey can't do it, it's another swing and miss at this botched field goal kicking fiasco that we've really had here since Robbie Gould left. So that's Cody Parkey is my bear down.
And while we're dealing with the fiasco, Robbie Gould is out there in Frisco kicking game-winning field goals for the 49ers. I have no idea why they cut him.
Well, I think he
had a rough year.
He had a rough patch there.
He was talking shit.
Yeah, but still, I agree with you, Dan. He's been, and let's not forget, Robbie Gould's played for another team in between Chicago and San Francisco,
New York,
that didn't want him back. Mm-hmm. He was, the Giants. But no, you're completely right. He rejuvenated himself, but Robbie always did a little bit too much talking for me for a field goal kicker. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be a consistent kicker, I'll put up with it. I just, like I said, I hope Parkey proves me wrong, but I don't. My confidence
Get out the misses
right now
now.
is very high. Yeah, exactly.
All right, Danny, who you got as your bear down player?
Well, hopefully you guys allow me to give it to a group, and I'm going to give it to the starting offensive line. I mean, they were horrible in that first, half of that first quarter. I mean, Cody Whitehair gets overpowered by Geno Atkins. Eric Kush gets bulldozed back into the backfield. Bobby Massey gets beaten inside by Carlos Dunlop for a tackle for loss. I mean, I can go on. Cody Whitehair had another high snap. So the only players on that offensive line that actually played decent tonight, from what I saw, was Kyle Long and Charles Leno. I mean, and then that, of course, when the second unit came in, they played much better. But that starting offensive line, I just don't know what was going on tonight. So those are my bear down.
Wow.
I really thought someone was going to go Kevin White.
Honorary bear down for me, too, is John Timu. He continues to whiff on tackles, and it drives me fucking crazy.
It's rare you see a guy start a game and end up still playing at the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he played the whole game.
Yep, he's
that
on
first
the ball.
True, Danny. That's true.
That first touchdown that they gave up, Timu whiffed, and then Amos came in.
Amos can't miss that tackle.
No,
that's our boy.
That's a good point, guys. Going back to that Timo whiff, did it look like he did not want to lower his helmet?
Yeah,
it did.
He was
high.
like he was thinking.
Yeah. So he went high on the shoulders, and then he broke a tackle, and then Amos came in and he broke a tackle too. But I think he just the rule was in his head, and he didn't want to lower his head to get a penalty.
That's a good point.
But he whiffed last week on some, and he does it on a weekly basis when he's out on defense. He'll be there where he can blow the play up completely, and he
whiffs.
Yeah, he's grabbing air.
In that play, he has to make that play. Now, not excusing Amos, because Amos needed to clean that up.
Just get him out. He was right there on the sideline.
Just push him out of bounds.
You didn't even need to bring him down. Yeah, get him to step out of bounds. Right.
Well, let me give you some of the bear up, bear downs that I heard in the chat room. Steven Zimmerman says bear up Shayne, bear down Tyler Bray. Midwest Southpaw says, can we talk about how effing terrible Kylie Fitz's run defense was? And we'll get to that. Sea-Dog 96 says Marcus Cooper should be released tonight.
Oh my God!
Yep.
He was.
Oh my God!
He was in my.
That's a great one.
Yeah, and Steven Zimmerman adds to that, said Cooper should have been released at halftime. Ryan Kirkland Billing says bear up all the tight ends and bear down Kevin White. And Kevin White got a couple of other mentions. Frankie Myers pointed out Leonard Floyd getting pressured in limited snaps and forcing that pick six. Ben Alexandre, Cooper, Timo, I don't know if they can get more down than that, but wow. And Daniels way up. Airger had an interesting thought. Actually, we mentioned it earlier.
I thought Air said Benny Fowler is going to make the 53. Benny Fowler.
Hopefully the 53 in Green Bay. Hopefully
that was Airger.
Where's Page?
Airger said that?
To Green Bay.
Did Airger say that about Fowler making the roster?
Oh yeah,
that was his boy that he thought was going to make the roster.
I wonder
is
what
Dead Airger available?
Yeah, I wonder what Dead Airger said.
Hey, you guys need to get off Benny Fowler. Just because he dropped 7 balls tonight, he's going to be fucking awesome.
I love you, Jer.
Fowler is the reason why I tweeted out Josh Bellamy improved his chances of making the roster tonight by not playing.
Oh my God, Fowler, that drop when it's right and it's fucking paused.
Did Bellamy get dinged this week in practice? Or?
I thought so, yeah, because he didn't make the trip.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that didn't make the trip.
He might be making a rap video, though, too. In the beat laboratory.
Versace.
Yeah.
Typically, when they don't travel, it's usually a concussion-related injury, but there's 3 other players that didn't travel, so I don't know. It's a new coaching staff. They might have new rules. If you're not going to play, you're not going to travel.
Guys, I got to ask you before Aldo comes in with some questions from the chat. So throw some questions at us quick. But I wanted to ask, the ball to Broniker from Bray, where Broniker dives and can't make the touchdown. Did you got Danny? Who did you think that was on? Broniker or Bray?
That's on the quarterback.
That's on the quarterback. He overlet him a little bit. I just think Broniker dove too soon, right? Do you think he could have kept running?
I thought he could have kept running through that and caught.
I thought if Broniker caught the ball, I didn't even think he was going to be in bounds. Maybe he did jump too early. Yeah, but maybe I saw it wrong.
I honestly thought
Aldo was chomping on those nacho chips pretty loud, so it's throwing off my vision.
But. Very true.
I thought it dove too early. I really did. That's why I wanted to see your take. And then, as much as I love my boy Gentry, he's got to catch that ball.
Yeah.
Got to.
That's another one.
Wims had a brutal drop tonight.
I didn't see the freaking play either.
Yeah.
It was right in his hands. He dropped it.
Oh, not good. You got to come back. So,
another player. Go ahead, Phil.
What Greg was talking about, are these guys going to ascend? And this was a player, Wims.
Yeah.
With a Y. Why? But he has an I. But I'm asking, why are you going to step up? And he didn't. So.
Well, Phil, I think you should bring up too, and I know he's a young player, and everybody, we're all expecting him to be on the roster. That 2-minute drill, I would have loved to have seen Wims.
Exactly. Me and Shayne were talking like, wait a second, Fowler's in? We know this guy isn't making the team.
Fowler and Ayers are in you, and I'm not saying that you need to go down and punch it in, but that's valuable reps in a 2-minute drill for a young player like that. It was a
missed opportunity by the wide receiver coach. If he's not running up to Coach Nagy and saying, "Listen, good opportunity to get the young guy in there. Good, get the puppy in there."
Did Wims even play in the second half?
No,
I don't know.
No,
I think he was out there for one route.
Yeah, that means that's good. That's good for him moving forward, Danny. But I just
think I'm with you, Shayne.
I think that could be worth its weight in gold. In game 13, putting him out there and letting him be in because we were taking Aldo, Phil, and I were taking bets on how many passes it was going to be before Bray threw an interception on that 2-minute drill.
Yes.
Before we move there, real quick, to Shayne's point, I remember a kid who ended up signing here in the salsa dancer, Cruz, being with New York, and he flashed. And then they played him through reps and live reps, and he continued to make big plays. And his confidence grew, and thus you saw his career. Don't overlook there's no bubble wrap in football. As Shayne said on the last show, when we were going at it with this garbage about Kevin White and bubble wrap, Coach, you can't go into a game and worry about injury. That's going to happen. You can't control it. So live reps, going fast and making plays are more important to me in a young football player than sitting there on the sideline watching Benny Fowler drop another one. It just doesn't make sense, and you really can, propel your career going forward. And my last question to you guys is this: do you keep 3 quarterbacks? Or are you keeping 2 quarterbacks?
No, you can't keep 3 quarterbacks on this roster. You can't.
I'm with you. I'm totally. Tyler Bray does not make this team in my mind.
Right. I agree. I agree now. 2 quarterbacks.
All right, cool.
All right, got some questions for you.
Great.
Real quick. Another guy who's impressed me a lot, and Shayne, I think you might agree with this, DeAndre Hall at safety.
Yeah,
we talked about it. Why Shayne? Why not me?
Well, because last week you didn't say anything about him when I brought him up.
Yes, I did. I brought him up.
Yeah. All right, so we all agree.
Me and Aldo.
Yeah.
One thing about him, though, I haven't seen him in coverage back there as safety, but, man, this guy will come up and he will pop you. He's a sure tackler in the open field. So I'm
cover
very impressed.
2 where Michael Joseph, I don't know what he was doing.
Oh,
and they hit it in the bubble there.
Yeah.
But Hall was a little late, but like you said, Danny, he freaking made his presence known. And that's important, that length, too.
I have one more thought, and I mean, Phil got his real quick. Danny just said real quick. So I'm going to say real quick.
Go ahead. That should be a new segment.
Yeah, really.
After the
down,
draft wrap-up press conference with Nagy and Pace, they referred to Kylie Fitz more as a run defender in that press conference, believe it or not.
Interesting.
That's true. That was true.
Something to keep in mind because we're seeing him struggle so much there. That's going to be something to keep your eye on moving forward. Just a little nugget from a few months back, but just remember that they were. Maybe it wasn't. It was right around there. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was one of the scout videos that ChicagoBears.com put out. I actually think that's what it was. They were talking about him, that they loved him as a run defender, which when I initially heard that surprised the hell out of me, even watching the guy in college. But that's just something to keep in mind moving forward.
Yeah, I think right now he's just overwhelmed. It seems like.
I agree.
Physically he's overwhelmed at the point of contact because he's not as strong as he's going to get. And also he's also thinking too. He's still thinking about his responsibilities on defense.
He hasn't played a lot.
Right.
He's been injured. Injured.
Yeah. Did you guys talk about? I'm sorry to interrupt. DeAndre Houston Carson. Did you guys mention him? Because I thought
he did not. But I like him a lot too.
You gotta mention him, Aldo. That's your bear up.
That's my bear up. Absolutely. I mean, the guy is showing a knack for the ball. He's making plays. He's getting shout outs in the chat room. Steven Zimmerman just says he has a hell of a nose for the ball. Just maybe that's where I got that thought from. And he says that I've seen him in practice in these two preseason games, and that he has proven that he's got a knack for the ball and a number of other comments.
I like him coming out of William & Mary, and then I saw him last couple of seasons. I'm like, he's struggling a little bit, but now this year, you can tell he's more comfortable. He's got a little more muscle to him, and he, like you said, Aldo, so he's attacking the ball. He's reading. Yeah. He's reacting. He's not, thinking out there. So
he looks confident.
He does.
He's wanting to take away the football.
I think a little boost to his ego, Aldo, we talked about it during the game, is Philly tried signing him off of our practice squad.
That's right.
Towards the end of the season last year. So I think that was a little boost to his ego that they said that, we don't want to lose this guy.
Right.
Donatel loves him.
Yep. All right.
And he's terrific on special teams as well.
Let's knock down some of these questions. Shy Bears Plus. I'm going to direct this one to Danny first. He wants to know, why doesn't Kyle Fuller jam at the goal line? He's so dang big and strong. Shy Bears Plus says, I want to see him put his hands on a receiver and stuff him. So what's going on there, Danny? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I put that down here. I'm like, he got caught leaning outside. It looks like the receiver kind of gave him a head fake, and he kind of went out. And then when he cut in, Kyle was caught flat-footed, and he got beat, for that touchdown. But I would think, what you guys think? I think it's a play call, right? It's the way that the defense is designed.
It's a preseason play call too, Danny. Yeah. I don't think we can overlook that.
That's the key point.
We all get fired up, and they're like, "Oh my God!" I saw somebody say the Bears are giving up 283 yards, in the first half, and
right. They're not scheming. They're not game planning.
This is not game planned for, and we can't stress it enough. It's vanilla defense.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They're going base defense, cover 3. All right, on 1, right, and they break. Base defense, cover 2, they break.
And I was surprised on offense that they ran that sweep handoff to
the jet sweep.
Yeah, I'm like,
Jim Miller's calling it technically an outside zone.
They wanted to put a feather in Aaron Lemming's cap because he's going to make the roster.
But the fact they even called that play, because you're showing some of your playbook there. I
said I wanted trick plays in. I was going to bring it up at the end, but since Danny wants to know, that's making Green Bay have to go into their film room and plan for it. That's why you do that in these games. It shows that Nagy is smart And I saw him get fired up with the offensive pass interference call.
Yep.
I saw him coaching up. You heard the quotes from Trubisky about how fired up and competitive he is. Right. That stuff matters. Even his presser, I love to hear the truth.
Right.
And something that I took note of was the way he managed the clock towards the end of the game.
Oh, yeah.
He had all 3 timeouts before the 2-minute warning. So, like, John Fox would have been out of timeouts with 6 minutes left in the game. So
exactly.
Absolutely.
Hey, Phil, some comments in the chat room from a number of people talking about that mishit by Adrian Amos, our guy.
What
do you think happened there?
I think it's the preseason, and he's got to take ownership of that play. Mm-hmm. He missed his tackle. His technique was poor. He had his head on the wrong side of the football player, and he missed it. He went in again. No excuses are being made. What do you think happened there? Everybody.
He's going for that big hit, like Double A.
Yeah, he's trying to make up for somebody who should have made the play. And you're overthinking. I'm not going to make excuses for him. He's got to make that play. I said it at the beginning of the show. There's no hiding that. But again, where was Deion Bush tonight? Did anybody see him?
Deion
Bush. No, good point. No, I didn't see him play today. No. Did he?
Is he injured that I don't know about?
No, I don't think so. I think
maybe he didn't know. Maybe one of the barflies.
Hey, Aldo, not to backtrack too much, but something that I wanted to get in when we were talking about that jet sweep.
Yeah.
Let's not forget in 2018 NFL, the jet sweep, it's not really even going to be – it's not – in my book, it's not considered even a trick play. That's a pretty standard play that everybody's using. So, I don't want to overvalue that, that part of it too much. You can turn on any number of games on any Sunday and see, the jet sweep being used. So I wasn't too concerned about them using that there myself.
I agree.
Well, to Danny's point, though, Shayne, it was a goal line jet sweep.
Oh, yeah.
So therefore, you know what I'm saying? That's where I said, now you're making them think, well, goal line, they're running jet fucking sweep. Yep. And guess who would be getting that football, Shayne?
Taylor Gabriel.
Nope.
Tariq Cohen?
There you go. Imagine Jordan Howard.
I could see either one of them.
Absolutely.
Either one. But I'm saying, imagine 2nd and 3, and
it's not going to surprise me to see Anthony Miller get one.
Exactly.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
And Trey Burton too. Trey Burton's got some wheels, and for a tight end, that'd be even more of a surprise. Well,
Trey Burton hasn't played a snap.
He had a catch today. He had a catch there for 5 yards. Yeah.
Oh, we didn't see him. That was in.
That might have been before.
That was
Aldo
in.
Was fucking up, Aldo was fucking up our
view.
Can you guys see through this? Can you guys see through this floodlight?
That is true. I was flashing at one point. Maybe that's what distracted you. All right. Frankie Myers wants to know, did anybody shine on special teams? Were there any gunners that stood out? I'll throw that out for anyone who may have been paying attention during special teams play.
Yeah, Shayne's boy from Maryland.
Yeah, he had a play. Nice play, too.
Number 55, yeah. And I got a couple people. You've heard Phil say I talked to people in the league. I heard Fangio loves this cat. Loves him. Not saying that he's going to be rostered, but he's a guy. He played safety at Maryland. What is he, 214 pounds, I think the Bears have him listed at. And he looked
saved
bigger.
The touchdown on the fake punt.
He sure did. But he's the type of athlete that is going to give you looks all over the place if you put him on your practice squad. When you're going against the defense, and you're going to put him out there to do a many different things in practice. So he's absolutely, I think, a kid that I don't think he's probably going to stick on the 53. I wouldn't be completely surprised, but I think he's absolutely a guy you try to get through and get onto your practice squad just to get some more experience and move forward with him.
Yep. I like the way he moves out there.
Yeah,
Looks
Woods.
fluid, like a fluid athlete. Yep.
Joshua Woods.
Joshua Woods. We're
There
keeping
you
an
go,
eye on
Joshua
Joshua.
Woods.
All right, Ryan Kirkland Billings wants to know, does Kevin Tolliver make this football team? That's going to be tough.
He's got to play.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't
Sorry,
know
guy.
what. Same as Kevin White. He's great in practice. Everyone's talking. And I love the kid, but we got to see it.
I think there's a lot of young DBs on this roster. And then, I mean, it's like I said, I brought it up, I think, after the game the other night. I think Josh Bellamy, Phil was right. He has improved, but depending how things unfold, I mean, I expect him to probably make it, but it's going to be very interesting. A guy that Sherrick McManus, is he pushed off this roster?
Yeah, good point.
With these young DBs.
Yeah. Man, they've got some depth back there, and and it worries me too with Adrian Amos in a contract year. Are they building up all this depth because they're not interested in signing Adrian Amos? I guess that's a topic for another day. But my man Adrian, we need him here for long term. All right, next question. I've got Sea Dog 96. He wants to know: do you think? Who do you think gets cut that everyone thinks is going to make the team? And don't say Benny Cunningham. I know who Draft Dr. Phil's going to say. Kevin White.
Yeah, you answered. My answer is Kevin White. And to tell you the truth, Aldo, I'm going to retweet it as we speak because you captured the Bullard play. I'll just put this up. You actually filmed it, so that I was talking about. So I'm gonna just tag that. But I'll say the surprise cut. Just today, Shayne mentioned Sherrick McManus. I think that is a really good name, but I don't know how you sell Kevin White. Unless he's like a different player next week. I don't know how you make the team if you can't do it in games. What are we playing this game? To be good in practice? I've coached kids that were terrible in practice and were amazing in games. I've coached kids that are awesome in practice and crap down their leg in games. So tell me which one you would take. So that's all that matters. This sport, winning is everything. No matter what they tell you, the bottom line is winning. If we're going to play a political game, then we're doing it wrong. Leave the politics to the politicians. Do not play politics with your football team.
I hear you. Danny, a lot of people missed at the top of the show when you were talking about, what the hell's his name? Edibili Abisi? Edibili.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Kasim Edibali.
Aldo added about 12 letters to that name.
I'm like, who? Who are I talking about?
Adewale Ogunleye. Talking about him today.
He's back.
Oh, my God. Kasim Edibali. Go ahead and give us your assessment in the 6'2", 253-pounder.
I was actually, we were going to talk, I thought you were going to go around the table, but in terms of surprise cuts, guys, Aaron Lynch might not make this team.
Yeah.
If these guys keep playing the way they're playing right now, Kasim Edibali, Isaiah Irving, with Kylie Fitz already a draft pick, Aaron Lynch has got to play. So
he needs to be cut for that mustache alone.
Porn stash. I don't know about that.
What did I say he looked like? Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
Fucking Burt Reynolds
Smoking
out
the
there.
Bandit.
Oh, is that who was next to Akeem?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that's your surprise cut, huh? Aaron Lynch?
Aaron Lynch, or I don't know if this is going to be a surprise, but Hronis Grasu. I don't see how Hronis Grasu makes this team.
Yeah, there's no way he makes this team.
Yeah, no way he makes this team.
He doesn't deserve to make the team.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Plain and simple, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but getting back to Kasim, in terms of what he did tonight, the way he was able to get off tackles, he set a hard edge. He was literally causing pressure on every single snap. Now, he didn't, get credit with the sack or anything like that, but he was definitely showing some athleticism out on the edge. The ability to bend and dip below the tackle's pad levels to get around the tackle to, again, create that pressure. So that's why I was like, man, this guy, impressed me tonight. So I looked back into his background, and he was with the Saints. And like I said, in 2015, he had 5 sacks playing, like in a rotation with the Saints. So you never know. There's a guy I'm going to definitely keep an eye on for the rest of the preseason.
Excellent. All right. Dan Walker 75 wants to know if the converted defensive lineman to offensive tackle, Coward, makes the team. That's a great question. Guys look good.
He took a step.
I'd say he's got to. I think he's
played
got to
well today,
continue
guys.
to do it.
Yep.
He
I
really
isolated
did.
on him. I isolated on him. And
So did I.
what he does is, technique-wise, he's not there yet, but he's got the athleticism and he's got the
And
physique.
he's strong.
He's strong
Yeah.
like bull, as Shayne's wife would say.
But the only concern is, if you think he makes the 53, or you think he gets practice squad?
I think he's got to be in the talk.
He's one of those guys, Danny. We talked about it a little bit. Massey, I believe, he's coming out of a contract after the season, correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's one of those guys. Depending, Greg brought it up on BHL. Depending, if you're going to keep 8, he's probably got a pretty good shot. If you keep 7, it might be a little bit iffy, but he might be a guy that a team is not going to be willing to put on their 53.
Mm-hmm.
He could be a classic guy for the practice squad, but if he keeps on taking a step, I'm not risking losing a young offensive lineman that showed that much upside when he's never played offensive line.
Right.
He said that himself. That's the thing.
Now,
You're scratching the surface. And just one other thing, when you're talking about the final 53, let's not forget, guys, every single year when the initial 53 comes out, every team is waiving players. Ryan Pace brings in 2 to 3 of these guys from the outside that are going to be rostered. So let's not forget about that. To Danny's point, if they eat the money on Aaron Lynch, I think he's $5-6 million. Another pass rusher could be brought in. Who knows what's going to happen with? Like I said 100 times, I'm not a big Shaq Lawson fan in Buffalo, but he's a guy that's on the bubble. Does Vic think that he's got something that he can unearth? So don't forget about the end of the roster guys on these other teams too.
Yeah.
That can be brought in.
And that's the area that I think if it's still in flux, the outside linebacker position, by the end of the preseason, I think you could probably expect Ryan Pace to make a move there. Whether it's pick up some guy from free agency and make a trade. I'm surprised Kevin Dodd hasn't been picked up, or have I missed it? Did someone pick up Kevin Dodd from the guy who used to be
I
with the
think
Titans?
he's got some serious issues.
Yeah, he's
up with
got
that
some
story.
cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs stuff
Really?
going on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too bad. All right.
One other thing about Coward, Aldo, real quick.
Please, go ahead.
Is in a league that's desperate for offensive linemen and tackles, how could you take a guy that is showing this amount of potential with the coach that's instrumental in developing offensive linemen and put him for availability around the league for other coaches? To me, the ascension that he's showing and continue. I watched him you know me. I love the line. This kid, I said it week 1. I was like, I'm waiting for him. Now, Danny, you hit it right on the head. Your offensive line takes are great. Your running back takes suck. But I'm just kidding with you. But Coward, to me, he's learning technique as he goes.
Yeah.
This is a NFL level, and to see what I'm seeing, and a guy that's not afraid to finish the play. I mean, to me, I just think you can't do it.
We're seeing a team like Philadelphia, and I hate to keep on bringing them up. They drafted a guy that's never played a snap of football to be an offensive lineman for them. He was the Australian rugby player.
Rugby, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Great
just shows
point.
you right there how limited, as bad as people want to say that Bobby Massey and Charles Leno are, if you can get good, that's way better than 75% of the teams in the NFL. If you can get good or even serviceable at offensive tackle. It's a huge issue league-wide. Mm-hmm. And if Coward keeps on showing promise, you can't let a guy like that go. You can't.
Yeah, like I said earlier, today I was highlighting him and I was just looking at him. And even when he was beaten off the snap, athletically, he's got the feet to be able to recover and at least nudge the guy right past the quarterback. And then all the quarterbacks will do stuff up in the pocket, and he's got the open window to throw the ball. But even when he's beat, he's athletically he can recover, which is something you don't really see. A guy who's learning how to play the position, which is really, really impressive.
All right, I want you guys all to react to this Air Jared comment. He writes, Daniels takes the starting spot at center. Fowler makes the 53, and Nall is very much on the bubble. Shayne, what do you think?
I think Air Jared should walk out of the meth lab, first of all. How the hell is what? I know he can't talk. Jared, what are you seeing in Benny Fowler that is showing you he needs to be on this team?
That's the one I don't agree with, but other two were spot on.
Yeah, absolutely. But Benny Fowler, I mean, he's had more balls bounce off his chest than he's caught this preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong, but he's shown me nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, he's been worse than Bellamy has ever been in my mind.
Some final thoughts here, guys. Shy Bear Plus says, trade Kevin White for a 7th rounder. Grasu sends his resume to Enterprise Car Rental, and Bray should look into selling car insurance. I want to go around the table here and get your final thoughts. And Shayne, let me begin with you. What do you think? What do you want people to go to sleep thinking about?
It's the next game up mentality. You got to do that, and you want these young players. This is all about young player development, stepping forward. You want to see James Daniels get back out there next week. Do it. You want to see Kevin White make a play, catch a ball, do something. Adam Shaheen. This is a huge game for this guy next week. He can be a huge part of this moving forward. What an absolute matchup nightmare that he can be. I mean, how great is this? We're talking about last year, a matchup guy in Tariq Cohen, and then after that, we're like, yeah, who is there? Now we're talking about Shaheen potentially, Trey Burton, Tariq Cohen, Jordan Howard, Allen Robinson, Taylor Gabriel. This is totally against anything that we've seen in Chicago, to have explosive guys still with upside at these positions along with your quarterback. So to me, it's not about having good games, great games overall right now at this point. It's not about wins and losses. You want to see guys making impact plays and stacking together from the week before. Next week, Javon Wims, we didn't see it. You better step up next week, buddy. We were all praising you last week. You better go out there and make a play next week. Mm-hmm. You can't filter. You can't fall off the map like Greg was talking about. You can't go out there and splash and then disappear for 2 weeks. You're still, at the end of the day, you were a 7th round draft pick. I think you deserve to be drafted higher. Danny was big on him and pointed that out to everybody, but you can't fall off. The name of the game is going out there and making plays. So young guys keep stacking together plays. I want to see Mitch go out there. I want to see him have a better game. The starting offensive line, get some cohesiveness going, make a play. first team offense, get in the end zone.
All right, Danny Shimon, final thoughts.
Well, defensively, just the presence of Leonard Floyd. Again, I keep harping on him. He's so important to this defense. That outside pass rush needs to be there. And like I said earlier, Akeem's going to be drawing double teams. Possibly Eddie Goldman will be drawing double teams inside. He has to beat his one-on-one blocking assignments, and he did it tonight. So if he comes back, and this is the Leonard Floyd we're going to see the rest of the year, I'll be very excited for that. And then offensively, the one thing I noticed, and I'm sure we've talked about this before, but guys, the tight end position is going to be very prominent in this offense. Today, these guys caught 11 balls for 174 yards. So, the tight ends are going to play a very, very important role in this offense. And, we shouldn't be surprised because he came from KC. Travis Kelce was a big part of that offense. So, just keep an eye on these tight ends running around the middle of that field, control that middle of the field on offense for the Bears this year.
I got to tell you before we get to your final thought, Phil, that Josh Bellamy is getting a lot of love in the chat room because there's talk about comparing him with Benny Fowler, and Josh Bellamy is winning just about in everybody's mind here. Go ahead, Phil. Take it away with your final thought.
Well, to that point in the chat room, I said last week, I don't lie or misconstrue my words on this show or anything about the Bears or football. I shouted out Josh Bellamy for his efforts in practice and what those guys were giving us in the camera. Josh Bellamy went into the game, ended up getting hurt or whatever, and showed the transition that I'm wanting Kevin White to show from the practice field, where my boy Trey's telling me, Phil, he's doing great, the best he's ever done. Game lights come on, he's Benny Fowler with a first round pick. So that dead issue, I'm with everybody. If whatever's best for the Bears, and I'm with you, Bellamy going out and working on his hands and being the receiver he needs to be, great for the Bears. Benny Fowler-esque drops in critical situation, not great. And then there's nothing personal. It's all about what I see on tape, and it always will be. That being said, my final thoughts. NFL, get your shit together with the Game Pass. It's absolutely disgusting, as I led the show, that it's 2018 and other apps and everything else is all the rage. The kids are Snapchatting and doing this crap, and we're using Skype to see it live from Chicago, for God's sake. Mm-hmm. And you are paying millions and billions of dollars. You have a monopoly with DirecTV on the Sunday ticket. I know this Game Pass is a great thing in regards to tape study, but this is unacceptable. Get your shit together. And my Chicago Bear, Roquan Smith, and your agency, get your shit together. Stop pointing fingers. We're not talking. This is football season. This kid's life and livelihood is about the game. You could be a blog. You could be a writer. The bottom line, you gotta understand that at some point there's a level of fairness line that you give, and what we've been told is all we know as fans. So either you're going to go out and say what the issue is so we can get this resolved in the court of public opinion, or you're going to continue to battle behind closed doors where nothing is getting done and you're not talking, and what sense does that even make? So, Roquan, we ask you and the Bears and whoever else and your agency who tends to have a pattern here, let's not forget that. Get your shit together. Those are my final thoughts. This is the first preseason game, technically. You're going to see improvement. Stop panicking. Stop worrying. It was a good show tonight. I appreciated everyone, how many of them in the chat room and listening on the podcast. But Let's go. It's about to be time.
We still got a healthy contingent of people in the chat room. They don't want to go to sleep. Nobody wants to go to sleep. I think I'm the only one that wants to go to sleep. I've got an interview with Mike North tomorrow that we'll be posting sometime in the afternoon. Mike and I are going to talk about what he's going to be doing in the Bears Barroom. Now that we've nailed down a few things, we're going to talk about some of his gambling tips, and we're going to have some fun. Mike and I are going to. So make sure you listen to that sometime during the weekend. We've also got Ryan Nall scheduled for an interview that we're going to pop into one of our shows early next week, probably 100 proof. And
Ryan Nall, huh?
Can we play the Danny Shimon audio?
Can we play Danny Shimon's audio? Yeah, please.
Do you mind, Danny?
No, I don't mind. I don't mind.
Invite him on the interview. Come on, you fuckers, put me on the spot. Danny on the
spot. Danny's got his opinion.
I'll be on there.
All right, we'll make it happen.
We'll see.
You
That's how we roll, Danny. Welcome to the club, buddy.
Awesome. Love it.
All right, I got to give out a shout out to Trey Busy, who got a lot of compliments in the chat room for his tweets during the game. He really brought it big time. I also want to bring up Midwest _ Southpaw. He had lots of great comments, and I don't think I read a single one of them. My bad, Midwest Southpaw.
Poor guy.
But I know you had fun, because we all had fun. I want to close the show as I always close it. Remember, if you drink, please do not drive, and always bear down.
Benny Fowler.
53. Wow.
Oh, man.
Critical drops.
Get off him already, Phil. Jesus Christ.